In May 2001, Washington, D.C. was gripped by a mystery that blended politics, ambition, and tragedy. Chandra Levy, a 24-year-old intern at the U.S. Federal Bureau of Prisons, vanished without a trace. Her disappearance would ignite a media frenzy, drawing the eyes of the nation. But behind the headlines, there was a young woman with dreams, hopes, and a life full of promise, a life cut tragically short. Chandra's story would come to symbolize both the fragility of life and the peril of power, a tale that the world would struggle to comprehend for years to come. Born and raised in Modesto, California, Chandra Levy grew up in a close-knit family. Her mother, Susan Levy, often described her as vibrant, curious, and fiercely independent. After graduating from college, Chandra moved to Washington, D.C., chasing a dream in public service. She secured an internship with the U.S. Federal Bureau of Prisons, a stepping stone toward a career she had long envisioned. Colleagues described her as intelligent, bright, and full of life. But in a city teeming with ambition and hidden agendas, even the most careful young professional could find themselves navigating dangerous waters. She had the world ahead of her, yet in a city where secrets hide behind closed doors, her light would eventually collide with shadows she couldn't escape. In Washington, Chandra Levy met Congressman Gary Condit, a married man with influence and power. Their connection, while initially professional, evolved into a relationship that would later draw intense scrutiny. At first, it was discreet: meetings, late-night conversations, occasional lunches. But whispers began circulating. Friends and colleagues noticed a closeness that should not have been. And when Chandra disappeared, this relationship would become the central focus of media speculation. Behind the tabloid frenzy, it's important to remember, Chandra was more than a story. She was a young woman with hopes and ambitions, whose life was now caught in the glare of public curiosity and judgment. May 1st, 2001. Chandra left her apartment for work, as she had countless times before. But this time, she never returned. Hours turned into days, and her absence grew more alarming. Friends and family reported her missing. Police launched a search. Yet, in a city filled with secrets and distractions, leads were scarce, and the investigation was immediately complicated by her association with Congressman Condit. The disappearance of Chandra Levy became more than a missing persons case. It became a national spectacle. Every theory, every rumor, every unverified claim was broadcast to the public. Yet the truth remained hidden, waiting to be uncovered. As days turned into weeks, Washington, D.C. became obsessed with Chandra's disappearance. Reporters camped outside her apartment. Every lead, rumor, or tip was magnified. The media attention was relentless, fueled largely by her alleged relationship with Congressman Gary Condit. Suddenly, the case was no longer just a missing persons investigation. It was a political scandal. Authorities followed hundreds of leads, interviewing colleagues, friends, and acquaintances. They analyzed phone records, emails, and credit card statements. But the city's attention was split between justice for Chandra and the drama surrounding Condit's political career. Behind the flashing cameras and sensationalized headlines, Chandra's family waited. Susan Levy, her mother, and the rest of her loved ones were living through a nightmare, one amplified by public scrutiny and media speculation. In May 2002, over a year after Chandra vanished, a man walking his dog in Rock Creek Park made a chilling discovery: human remains. DNA tests confirmed what everyone feared. It was Chandra Levy. The discovery sent shockwaves through Washington, D.C., reigniting media coverage and intensifying the investigation. Authorities immediately focused on the park itself. Witness statements, forensic evidence, and crime scene analysis became critical. And soon, one man would emerge as a suspect: Ingmar Guandique, an undocumented immigrant already serving time for assaulting other women in the same park. The nation demanded answers, but even as a suspect was arrested, the case was far from over. Justice, it seemed, was proving more elusive than anyone had anticipated. Ingmar Guandique was charged with Chandra's murder in 2009. Prosecutors argued that he had assaulted Chandra in the park, and the case relied heavily on witness testimony. In 2010, Guandique was convicted. Many believed that justice had finally been served. Yet, controversy immediately followed. Defense attorneys and critics questioned the reliability of the key witnesses. For Chandra's family, the conviction brought a mixture of relief and unease. Had the right person been held accountable? Or had the investigation merely found a convenient scapegoat? Even with a conviction, unanswered questions lingered. Who had truly taken Chandra's life? Could the full truth ever be uncovered in a case so entangled with politics, media, and uncertainty? Years later, in 2015, Guandique's conviction was overturned due to unreliable witness testimony. Prosecutors eventually dropped all charges, leaving the murder officially unsolved. The case had spanned over a decade, a labyrinth of investigations, rumors, and legal battles. And yet, the ultimate truth remained beyond reach. For those who loved her, the void remains. The question that began with hope, then became fear, continues unanswered. Who killed Chandra Levy? And why? Chandra Levy's story is more than a case file. It is a cautionary tale about ambition, secrecy, and the fragile line between public fascination and private tragedy. Her life, bright, hopeful, and full of potential, was stolen. Yet her story continues to remind us of the human cost behind the headlines. In a city of power, politics, and influence, the search for truth can be tangled, obscured, and sometimes forever out of reach. But one thing is certain: Chandra Levy will never be forgotten. Justice may remain elusive, but memory endures. And in remembering her, we honor the life that was taken too soon.